How would you explain what you do using only a popular movie?
You can't say Wolf of Wall
There
Street.
is no nobility in poverty.
Good. Die Hard.
Die
Die
Hard.
Hard. Okay.
How exactly?
Like we die here, basically.
Oh my goodness. Hello all, welcome to Tech Tacto, your podcast of tech talk.
For everyday people.
My name is Dami,
And I'm Iyanu.
and as you might have noticed, we're not alone in the studio today. We have a special guest in the studio with us.
Thank you, Dami. My name is Okiki.
Okay, Okiki, you have to do a proper introduction. But before we get into it,
Just saying my name is Okiki ain't enough.
They're like, who-
tell them who you are.
we literally said you're a special guest. You have to
Yes,
let
sure.
us know.
My name is Okiki. I've been a software developer for about 10 years. I run a product studio where we build software and really cool stuff for people on the internet. We also dabble into like physical products, but that's pretty much a summary of myself and what I do.
Okay, that's like very short and concise, but we'll get into it a bit more because I'm sure you do a lot of things that are like much more than that. So we're gonna do this like the tech tactile way. As you guys might have known, we do like to ask our guests like very interesting questions about what they actually do. So it's gonna be like in 3 formats. Yana, do you want to start?
Yeah. So we typically ask 3 questions to get to know you a little better. The first one is, how would you explain what you do using only a popular movie?
You can't say Wolf of Wall Street.
Good. Die Hard.
Die
Die
Hard.
Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like
this
we-
will be interesting.
like Die
how
Hard, yeah.
how
Like-
exactly?
Like we die here, basically.
Oh my goodness. You know what? That actually does make sense. Do you typically consider yourself like the action star? You know, in the movie there's the villain and then there's the main person that is the action.
Yeah, I'll pretty much say like the star, because I mean like you have to like do like the right thing, do right by yourself, by other people as well, and I mean that's the one way to like it has worked for me all my life. So yeah, never the villain.
Okay, that makes sense. But why would you say not the villain? Sometimes I feel like there might be instances you need to like make decisions that might come off as that's like tough. I mean, considering the fact that you practically run businesses, have you ever been in positions where you felt like the villain?
Absolutely yes. You know, you have to make like some very strong decisions, because at the same time, if you don't make those decisions, it can come back to like really bite you. And more often than not, when you have to make those decisions, it's a case of protecting yourself when other people have not looked out for you. So you just have to do what is best. And from the business angle, the decision you are making that can make you a villain might also save like multiple people as well. So it's just what is best for the business.
Nice. So win-win, literally,
Win-win, yeah.
for the business and the users or your
Correct.
customers.
Correct.
Nice. Okay. For the second question, what you just said makes like a whole lot of sense. But imagine your younger self has not seen Die Hard. How would you explain what you do to your younger self?
I'll say I build like really cool stuff, and we do like very passionately, and we pretty much don't believe there's anything we can't do. Just give us like enough time, and once it's something that we're really keen on doing, we will do it. We'll always find a way. So that's just it. So yeah,
You always find
always
a
find a
way.
way. Always.
I think that's like literally something to hold on to. Always find a way. It's a good thing. But for your younger self, what was your younger self like? Let me start with that. Were you always interested with technology when you were young?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. I think we had like a computer at home as far back as probably like primary 2. So I was like kind of like like what like DOS looked like from maybe like primary 2, primary 3. And I have a computer science degree. I've always been really interested in computers, how it works, you know. And even what I used to do like my day job, mobile, I picked it up about 14 years ago. That was when it was Android. I think probably Froyo 2.2 or something. So it's always been something I've really been interested in. So I think if I were to go back like 15, 20 years, my past self will be very proud of what I've done today.
That's good.
Out of curiosity, what drove you to like get into mobile development? You said you started doing it like 14 years ago, programming or
Yes,
something into it?
yes.
Yeah.
It was just, I would say, it was a very simple Google search of what is going to be like extremely relevant in the future, and it was the whole idea of handheld computers. I mean, we didn't even really see that people would get addicted to like their phones as much as they are right now, but we kind of knew that a computer you can put in your pocket all the time, you would need software to run on that. So it just kind of like made sense then, and it was I'll say it was one of the safest bets I made my entire life.
Cool.
I like the fact that you say you have a computer science degree, because guess who also has computer science degree? And I promise you guys, this is not deliberate. Like, it is not deliberate at all. It's just like so random. So you are literally in a room full of people with CSE degrees, and we love it that way. We literally love it. And finally, if you were to explain what you do, if you had like a warning label.
I'll just say it gets tough, as with anything good is going to like take a lot of like strength, resilience, and also a lot of perseverance. So it gets tough, and you have to embrace it. There's no, you can't hide from it.
So treat with caution, or
treat with caution, and I'll say also with curiosity. Don't run when it gets tough. Don't run.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's actually very, very interesting. The fact that you started off your curiosity from a position of seeing what's going to be relevant in the future, like, did you even foresee technology would have changed as much as it has now when you first dabbled into that? Or do I want to be a mobile developer, or do I not want to be like a full stack person?
I to be fair, I couldn't have predicted it, but there was a lot of like hints, directions, and nudges that this handheld device thing is going to work. When I picked up mobile, I'll say what was really big back then was probably like security, CCNA, CCNP. It was kind of like, felt like the safest, like the future thing to do. But I just kind of said, you know what, I'm going to put my hand in this mobile thing. And the thing is, I actually really liked it. It came like very naturally, very. I was like a natural artist. I just said, you know what, I'm going to stick to what I'm good at. You know, I had like other opportunities to like join like bigger companies, like go back to oil and gas. But I just said, you know what, this mobile thing, I really enjoy doing it, and I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to look for a job in this field. And yeah, we are.
That's a very valid point. Back then in Nigeria, like you said, CCNA was really big. But then there was also a period where telecoms was also like a really huge industry in Nigeria. Besides like oil, a lot of people are running to like the telcos to like cash out, like MTN, all of them. Right? Really interesting. I'm curious though, like how, in your opinion, like how has the mobile development landscape changed sort of like over the years? Have there been ups and downs? Like, have there been huge changes to how mobile engineers, for example, approach software development?
I'd say there are two angles to it. One is when you are job hunting, and the other part is when you are actually doing the job.
Strong.
When you are job hunting, you have to be up to date, because like I said, Android devs, they are very notorious for saying, okay, you need to be up to date with these things. When it comes to the actual job itself, people who are pushing Compose, a lot of them still use XML at work. And I'm not even talking about like constraint layout, the new parts of like Android XML, like the old like legacy stuff. So because you're not going to go and rewrite like systems that work and make money for the business, they'll ask you who sent you. So it's from two perspectives.
How different would you say Android development is to iOS development, or how similar?
I've always wanted to know that.
Would you say,
And to add on to that, like how easy it is to like ship on Android, because I'm constantly getting like feedback from the engineers I work with about how much harder it is for them to push apps to the Apple Store compared to when it's like Google Play.
Yeah, I've heard mobile developers give Apple a lot of stick, like when it comes to development, and like also a lot of people have terrible things to say about, for example, Xcode. Right?
Yes,
a lot of people hate
and rightfully so.
Xcode.
Yes, rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
I was saying in terms of similarity, up until let's say when Jetpack Compose and Swift UI got introduced, then it was just you could like write like let's say but iOS was even storyboards, one of the worst things you can possibly imagine. But now you've got like declarative UI, which is like the Compose and Swift UI. So the syntax is pretty similar. I think they borrowed most of it from like React Native when it comes to the whole idea of like auto refresh, auto reloads, and just having like really much easier to write like declarative syntax. So compared to like what it was about till probably like 4 years ago, I'll say it was really difficult. But now if you can write Compose, it probably won't take you too much time to transition to Swift UI. And for the other question, when it comes to, let's say, deployment or like getting stick from like Apple and whatnot, to be honest with you, most of Apple's guidelines are pretty clear. We just don't like it. We just don't like what they're saying. But their guidelines are pretty clear.
Yeah.
Pretty clear. Same with Play Store. Pretty clear.
That makes a lot of sense. And I like the fact that you've spoken about Google extensively because this leads us to our very first news. And I'm going to be dragging the both of you now. Google I/O event was last week. Did you watch it?
No.
So Yano was saying earlier about how all these releases feels like an overload at this point because when I see a company announce something new, I'm literally like, this is going to be AI something or AI this and AI that.
Yeah.
And am I wrong?
A lot of people are experiencing what I'd refer to as AI fatigue at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? No surprises. Google I was very heavy on AI.
Yeah.
AI developments, AI this, AI that. And I did watch a bit of the video personally. But I noticed, I checked the comment section. You know, when you're watching YouTube, you have to check the comments.
section. Like,
So I
concurrently.
checked the comment section and I saw so many people just complaining, like, is all we're going to talk about
Yeah.
AI? Like, literally, like, what happened to Google I/O of the
Oh,
olden
boy.
days where you see new interesting things around, like, oh, let's say the Android operating system,
Yeah.
right? You see, let's say there was a time that Google had this feature, they demoed at Google I/O around like voice filtering for calls, right? Let's say a person calls you and stuff like that. You could have like effectively something like a secretary that even filters the call on your behalf, first of all, to see whether e.g. it's a spam call or not. If it passes like the voice AI check, whatever,
Yeah.
then it could. Yeah, so you had a lot of interesting innovations like this going on back in the day. Also, like they used to announce a lot of things. Like, for example, I believe when Google launched material design, like, they
Material
also announced
design
that during
it was
Google I/O as well.
life-changing.
That was like
Yeah.
a huge thing at the time. But right now, a lot of things like AI.
Yeah. You know
New-
what would have been fun? Would have been to like do a streaming of that and you have like shots beside you. Take a shot when they say AI. Because you're not going to leave that
Yeah,
session
yeah.
like you're sober at all.
It's funny because you just mentioned like this take a shot in, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard that SpaceX, this is a bit of a pivot, but I'm sure
Yeah.
you've heard that SpaceX is considering doing like an IPO, right? So they recently like released like their IPO documents and stuff like that, right? Obviously regulators have to go through it and everything like that. But it's like a prospectus of sorts, right? SpaceX mentioned AI over 1,000
Oh
times.
my
God.
goodness.
Yes, people counted. And yes, it was mentioned over 1,000 times. So like, and then again, like we were talking about just before the podcast started, like over the past few weeks, there have been a bunch of graduation speeches that have happened, e.g. in the USA,
Yeah.
where like the guest speaker would come in and start talking about like AI, and the students would start booing literally. Like it's like this thing of AI fatigue has really
Yeah.
like, gotten like out of hand, in my opinion.
No, it's not surprising at all. I feel like the only thing that I am kind of like excited about with this I/O event is the smart glasses. Finally, like I called it. I said this. I'm looking forward to that just because Meta. I'm looking at you right now. Like I'm not forgiving you people for leaking the data. Fingers crossed. Like Google's experience is better because a couple of episodes back we spoke about how like a company in Kenya, like some of the contractors there literally came forward to say they had access to like see the things people could see when they wear their Meta glasses, and Meta categorically should not have access. Like they
Absolutely.
should not have a right to make that happen. So it feels weird. It's just invasive. So hopefully Google is better in that area, but the partnering with Wabi, Parker, and Gentle Monster, I've seen like a couple of images of the glasses. Yana doesn't like them because they look feminine. I like them because obviously they look feminine.
I have a theory.
Okay.
And it's a theory that can get me in trouble, but the theory is any wearable that you make, if it doesn't really look good on like ladies, most people won't buy it. For example, I'll give you like the Apple Vision Pro. I've not seen any lady putting that stuff on their head.
It
and
looks
walking on the road.
weird and it's so heavy.
Like those anything that has to do, like beauty that makes people look good. If women don't like it, it's over.
Yeah.
So I think based on your statement, I think the Google glasses will sell, and I've never even seen it already.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah.
I'm glad Okiki agrees. And then something else that I really do like as well is there's something Google introduced at the event called Universal Cart. So this allows you to kind of just shop from whatever Google products that you are accessing. So whether you're like browsing search, you're chatting with Gemini, or you're literally just like going through your email, you see something that you like and you actually want to buy it, Universal Cart allows you to buy anything straight from any of the Google products that you're using. Which one are you excited about the most?
Which am I excited about the most? Good question. To be honest, I think Universal Cat is the most interesting thing I saw, like in the Google. Well, software-wise, Universal Cat. Hardware-wise, obviously the Google glasses. Right, because we're waiting for that for quite a bit. Plus, I feel like Meta specifically needs more competition in the smart glasses area because they've pretty much been running the whole show for like the past 2 years thereabouts. That being said, Apple, what are you doing? When are you going to launch your own smart glasses? Come on, guys.
Go there.
I mean, in my opinion, I'm like, Apple should have done this ages ago. But then, stereotypically, it kind of like makes sense for Apple, right? They never come in. They hardly ever
take their time.
Come in first.
They're
they take their time. They
Siri.
see what everyone. Come on,
They're
come on, damn
Siri.
Come on,
Give
damn
them
Like
some
Apple,
jazz.
Siri is so bad. And I do not think, I feel like Apple needs to scrap Siri personally. Just straight away, start over, right? Or forget about it entirely. Ask OpenAI to do a deep integration with ChatGPT into iOS and forget about Siri. Like, close the chapter. I personally do not want to talk about Siri again.
Ever.
It's bad. It's that bad. I respect it.
It's that bad.
Nice.
Okiki, have you tried Siri? Do you use Siri? Like,
I use Siri primarily to set alarms. I think that's
my
just to
goodness.
set alarms and also maybe like what song is playing. Just those two.
yeah.
You have Shazam for that. Stop it. You are not using
They
Siri.
have buy Shazam.
Yeah, they did.
Yes,
Yeah, it's the
you're
same
not
thing.
using Siri to the best of its or
But
ability.
that's the thing. Siri is not good at anything.
It's not good at anything.
Even the alarm safe. Like, once when the alarm safe, I'm like bro, it's just alarm. Man. It's just alarm.
You know what? We leave it at that. This is not a Siri 8 show. But the most interesting and problematic thing about this new Google releases is the fact that you cannot search for certain words on Google search anymore
Oh, so that's-
because it is so buggy. You can't search for disregard. You can't search for stop on Google search anymore. Like, what are we doing here? Like, Google search bar is supposed to be functional for the most random thing. But now, with this new Ask Google thing, like, it is making the search experience so weird because it's supposed to be sophisticated, but what are we doing?
I feel like it's the whole. I don't want to be negative here.
Yeah.
But
Do it.
I feel like
Burn it down.
I feel like a lot of companies are literally enshittifying their products just to bring in AI into it, right? So besides this, also like Notion, I feel like to an extent Notion has got a bit worse when it comes to like the editing experience. Like for example, right? Let's say drafting a document in Notion, right? I want to change, let's say, some text to a heading, right? Rewind like a couple of years ago, I could simply double click, highlight the text,
and then
or right click and then click H1, and I'm good. It's changed. Now, if I double click on the text or right click, when the pop up appears, there is literally nothing that I can use to actually change the format of the text.
You don't
but
want to ask
what
AI.
there is an Ask AI.
You don't want to ask AI.
Ask AI section where apparently I'm supposed to ask the AI to change this text to an H1 or H2 or whatever. And then if I ask the AI to do that, it takes 10 seconds to actually make the change when I could literally before just double click and click H1 and I'm done with it. Like, why? What? Am I the only one that feels like this is a problem here?
No,
Like,
it is.
Like, I think even Canva's AI. I mean, I would assume that you should be able to type into like Canva's AI and it's okay, designed like these very simple templates, but it's just very. It's almost like an help. I'm just like an help chat bar or something. I'm just like it could be. You could do more. Maybe if you genuinely ask your customers instead of like some product manager looking for a promotion, you would know exactly what people want. So I'll just say, yes, they are enshittifying because these are not people that are very close to like their customers' ears. So it's bound to happen.
Yeah. I definitely agree with what Ian said. It's just like a strong beat to get AI into the products. And personally, I feel like some of these features are not necessary. I mean, maybe some are, but I don't know. YouTube literally ask YouTube, gosh, what am I asking YouTube for?
You're not the one talking on the video.
Like, it's like a new it's a new feature as well. It's like ask YouTube. There's a search bar. I know, like all of the content I'm watching is already on my own feed. Like, feed. What am I asking YouTube for? Like, I don't know, man. Aside from that, just the other thing is there's Google AI Studio now. I think you were excited about that. I mean, being able to create by prompting. You can build Android apps.
Yeah, for the Google AI Studio stuff, like you can now build Android apps like directly with Google AI Studio.
Yeah.
There's this ID that Google released like last year, anti-gravity. They've released like version 2 of anti-gravity as well. There's a general sentiment in the like dev community that anti-gravity to an extent sucks. So I haven't played around with anti-gravity 2 yet. I'm going to play around with it this week. So hopefully it's like much better than anti-gravity 1. Curious though, Okiki, as a mobile engineer, a mobile developer, do you find like AI tools like useful in like your day-to-day workflow, like when building applications?
Yes, sir. I do. I think, and I made a video about it, which kind of like got me like some mixed opinions. My own theory is just basically you should not outsource all of your thinking to the AI, all of the, because you either get paid for like your knowledge, what you can do, how you can actually like, let me speak in corporate terms, how you can transform like ideas into like executive decisions or whatever they call it and whatnot. You should use it as more like a guiding light to do what you want to do. What you want to do should actually be like, you shouldn't let the AI take full control of the work. You should that cognitive part, you must not outsource it, because the more you outsource it, the lesser quality you're going to get from this machine, because you kind of, let me just say, for lack of better words, you'll be at sync with this machine, and it's the machine now driving the outcome. So where it should have been like much more detailed before, the machine will tell you something very simple and you just go with it. It's like when you're like a slot machine, you just keep clicking, like just keep eating, and it just I just say the machine just kind of like takes control of the whole process, and you might not like the outcome. People might not understand the outcome. Do you understand? So that's the way I see it.
Yeah, I think it's like a double-edged sword in my opinion. Like on the one side of things, AI tools are making people more productive.
Yes.
But on the other side of things, research is showing that AI tools are actually making people dumber.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
Right. And like there is like statistical evidence that shows this, right? Like students, for example, in schools, when they get assignments, homeworks and stuff, like a lot of them simply just pour it into,
Yes.
let me not say a lot, but like it's like a typical trend that we've heard about. Pour it into like AI tool, like solve this, or just ask it what's the answer to this, and then it just gives them the answer. Like effectively, it's another version of La Crème La Pour, literally.
Yeah.
Right.
At least in La Crème, you were cramming it. At least in La Crème, you were cramming
No,
it.
you're not even
You're never cramming it anymore.
You're just pouring
You're
it.
literally reading the chess book
La
at
prompt,
some
la
point. Trademark that.
I'm actually going to buy that domain. I hope it's
Oh my
available.
goodness, you need to be
laprompt.com,
stopped.
like literally. But yeah, like, and I feel like it's just interesting seeing like the impact like the AI is having generally, because humanity has never been in a situation like this.
True.
Where literally we have like a machine that can answer questions that we have whenever, however we want it to, right? Typically, we have to go through the intensive mental labor of actually like solving these problems, right? Writing that annoying email that you don't want to write. Like you have to have these like social skills. My partner is angry at me. Like how do I actually navigate this message through, to be emotionally sensitive and actually answer like in a responsible way? Now people can just take screenshots of chats, give it to ChatGPT. How can I answer this in an emotionally sensible way? ChatGPT will give you your answer, and you just pretty much copy and paste that into like your message, and like the person you're talking to will be like, wow, when did he become so emotionally sensitive? Right? Meanwhile, like it's like we're in a unique situation right now, and I feel like we just need to get extra. Our engineer is smiling over there. I think we all agree about this, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like it's like, and I feel like I just worry that we might be getting into like a slippery slope,
Yes.
where we're not really handling this as like a society well enough.
True.
And yeah, I worry at times, Danny. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I definitely agree. It's a good and valid point you make, because this next piece of news is one that I read and I was laughing so hard because it feels so ironic. But right now, Spotify is like putting a take on Google's Notebook LM, and they're launching kind of like a feature that allows users to create AI generated podcasts. And in the previous week, they also announced they're doing like a collaboration with Universal Music Group, which will allow people to do like remixes and covers with AI. So goes back to the point you were making, Okiki, about how the machine is literally leading. And my main concern now is kind of like around creation in general, because where does the originality come into play? Like anyone can literally create anything. In this case, a couple of weeks back, that Stromae song was trending, the Afro pop version of it, which was like AI generated. And I mean, yes, it sounds good and whatnot, but it's just like, bro, if Stromae did not sit down, think of the lyrics, pour his soul into the song, the everything, we would not have that AI cover. So it begs the question, really, what do you think like is going to be like for audience? Do you think it's going to get to a point where audience don't care about whether something is AI generated, or if a podcast they listen to is AI generated, as long as it's entertaining?
They can only care or not care if they know it's AI.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I actually felt like that exact thing last year. I'm not my proudest moment. So there was this artist I was listening to last time. I was like, I really like this guy. Let me check his like Wikipedia. Let me see like the awards there as one. And I just like AI generated artist. I'm like, oh my god, I fell for this thing. So the thing is, it is if you know, you know. So but in terms of what it means for creativity, I would say like you rightfully said, if they didn't produce the first set of songs in the first place, it won't have like any data to infer on to create like brand new music. And again, that's where my fear also lies again. When people start to say, oh, AI will do everything. It's just like, let's say you've got like a helper to say, oh, this does everything, cooks for me, cleans, washes my clothes, brushes my teeth for me. When at the point where the helper doesn't know what to do anymore, or maybe the helper goes on holiday, how will you do it? How will people create music when they say, okay, we'll have AI do all these things. We'll have AI write all our papers. We'll have AI do all of the work. At the point where AI cannot do this thing anymore, and those are like the actual knowledge workers have gone, what do you do at that point? So even if you're like over reliant now, we still have to think about the future.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. I mean, what you were saying about they not knowing, I mean, Spotify has put it on there, like all the artists that are participating, you definitely have to consent first. And if you are consenting, you are going to be credited like as a copyright person or like a shareholder on that track. I feel like that's fine in a way, but still begs the thing you just said about there's a deeper connection that I feel. Is it just me with like a musician? If I know like the story of their life, I mean, Justin Bieber literally started like making music and it was discovered on the internet. Then he had to like go through training and all of that before he dropped his album Blue and whatnot. With AI musician, I will not be able to like connect that type of story.
You can't even go to their concert.
Tell me, I was conceived on my maker's computer because my maker was bored and my maker was feeling angry and he wanted to like make music through an artist that helps to calm down. Like I don't understand. Like there's no emotional connection in that process, and it's something I feel like genuinely concerned about.
Yeah. Personally, if, for example, I am scrolling on, let's say, TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's just me, but anytime I encounter something that's clearly AI generated, I just
skip.
Oh yeah, same here.
There's this particular genre of TikTok video we have now where there's just like a AI voiceover or something.
Oh my
like,
goodness.
And it sounds so robotic and so annoying. Like those videos, for example, I just completely
Have you seen the fruit videos?
Fruit videos.
Yeah, like the fruit dramas that
fruit
are
dramas.
generated.
It's food drama. It's tung sahuru. There's like just lots of like brain rot. Lots of like brain rot.
Like
I'm not gonna
automatic
lie. I'm not gonna lie. The storyline in some of them, it's very intriguing. I've watched like one that had like 5 parts.
And you watch everything.
I am so serious. Like it was how to stop. It was actually how to
We
stop.
listen,
It
we
was-
don't judge.
We listen, we don't
I
judge.
mean, we.
Wow, you don't speak. You don't
Okay,
speak
okay,
French
okay,
now.
my bad. Okay, at least that he doesn't judge.
Oh my goodness. So aside from Spotify, Figma
Yeah.
is also adding AI agents to their design canvas, and this is supposed to be like an assistant that helps you. You can run multiple agents at the same time. I don't know how I feel about that, because I personally, from a design point of view, I find like most of the tools that have been created to help me, it's just much harder for me to like kind of review the output of what they've created and start to like spot the issues with it. I think sometimes it's faster for me to just do the design
Oh, yes.
myself than prompt AI like, oh, create the onboarding experience for this, and I'm seeing mistakes that are so glaring. I'm like, God, do I need to like prompt it down to the details of you cannot use different font sizing. Like the font sizing needs to be consistent. But now Figma is bringing this into their flow. They say like it's supposed to understand design context, create layout, and all of that like way better than a generic chatbot. So the question for you, Kiki, is: do you think like AI is making people productive, or it's just like increasing unnecessary expectation?
That's one of the questions I would say is correct on both grounds. So in terms of like productivity, developers, designers, they can actually access like resources much more faster. If you see it as if you didn't call it AI, let's just call it like a supercharged Google search, one that had like much more curated intents or like curated outputs. We can say people are much more productive. But in terms of for that unit of work, but in terms of general productivity, why it might seem like AI is making people more productive is because AI has been used as a subtext for multiple layoffs. So when you are genuinely scared for your job and the bar for you to like perform, the bar for being even like average has become much higher, you are going to do more. And because AI, you can use AI to do some of that work, you might actually assume that you are doing way more because of AI, but you are doing way more because you are scared, and AI is assisting you to do way more. So that's exactly what's going on from my perspective.
That's very interesting. And there's also this concern that has been coming up like currently on social media, where people talk about how it's getting more expensive to do work with AI compared to hiring like an actual employee, because companies are spending so much money on credit. It's more like now it's cheap to hire a proper employee compared to running credits to do AI prompting.
Yes, and it will only get more expensive, because if you look at even if you go back to like let's like the supply chain of what all of all this AI, the data centers, the chips that you need to power all these servers, the RAM, the memory, everything. If you look at the stocks of these companies, it's skyrocketing. They cannot meet the demand for all this AI work, and people keep on using it. The demand keeps growing exponentially. So it just directly means it will translate to higher costs for you as the end user, even for the companies as well. So there ideally will be a time where AI costs way more, and at that point, I kind of think corporates will realize that, okay, let's just tone it down a bit. Humans will always win. We've been around for like we've been around for hundreds of thousands of years, so we will always win. That's what the human spirit is about.
Yeah.
I think in a way some orgs, very very valid, right? I think in a way some orgs are setting themselves up for failure, in that we've noticed there's been like more of a trend in tech right now where companies hire less of junior engineers or junior talent. Some companies just don't even hire like junior talent at all, right? They just hire
Straight up
strictly seniors, right? But then if like you're not hiring juniors, like who is going to become the next generation of senior engineering talents, right? For example. And like you said, humans are still very much important in this loop, right? So how exactly will companies like address situations where, for example, let's say for whatever reason, they cannot meet like they demand a lot of tokens to build like tools. Obviously, these tools are being developed, still need people to operate them and so on, still need humans in the loop to do like things like code review. But then obviously, fast forward like some decades from now, software engineers might have moved on to different career paths and so on. Right? Who's now going to be who's now going to be the one, like, for example, reviewing these like code outputs? Who's going to be the one like actually controlling and orchestrating like these AI agents and so on, right? I think I just curious about your thoughts, Okiki, on it. Like, what do you think like is the right way for companies to kind of like approach like this situation with AI tools?
The right way is still to retain that development pipeline. I mean, because people are getting laid off left and right, in almost everywhere. I would say they still need to hire much more. It might not be the best environment to hire a junior, but juniors will never run out of fashion and work to be done. So, and because companies are trimming headcounts, I'll just say there is a very big responsibility on even the juniors themselves to like do much more stuff outside of work. I would say down to like, let's say, personal projects, to be able to prove that you can handle stuff. I mean, because it's much harder now, you need to start doing stuff outside your workplace that would at least start inching you slightly towards like even like a mid-level, operating on the mid-level, and that's by doing like work out, like unstructured work outside the work environment. So because like you rightfully said, once the mid-level starts to move on to other stuff, companies will need people to actually maintain these systems. So they have two options. They either have to go to like contractors where you can be paying like £1,000 a day, or you do exactly what you should have done in the first place, which is to actually invest in people. Because I said people will always win. There is no system, there is no AI, there is no automation, there is no tech that will beat human beings. In fact, it's so crazy that if the tech beats human beings will revolt. Now you have no tech.
Yeah, true. That makes sense. I mean, it's interesting that you say like people should do things outside of work because you have your dev cards here. So do you want to tell us a bit about what dev card is?
Oh yes, thank you. Dev cards are basically software themed playing cards, which in white and in black as well, which it has code at the front and at the back. At the back you've got the binary, and which kind of like satisfies like most of the curiosity of developers, and at the front is mostly like SVG. We use perfect shapes to make like the suits, like so we use for example, for the diamond, we've got like an entire polygon. We have the code drawing the actual decks on the cards, and you can actually go to the site as well, which is the devcards.com, to edit the cards, both the front and the back. So it's more like an identity for those who are very familiar with software. I've shown it to like some really, really cool people, like some software leaders, some design leaders. I was playing poker with like the city of Atio on Wednesday, and he really liked it. I've shown it to people like Kelsey Hightower, the head of product at Lovable, and they really they got it like almost immediately, and they really liked it. And even most of my friends, like you would know that the product as well. So it's just more like something about an identity. It's just, okay, this is our thing, and this is how it works. This is what it means to us. So just like spark curiosity and to like help other people learn as well.
And it's not related to AI.
No AI. No AI.
No AI was used
in the
making of this.
No humans were armed.
Strong disclaimer.
So it's available in black and white, and you've got code at the back and also at the front.
Yeah, no, you have updates for us regarding Anthropic. Given the fact that AI is being used so much, at least they're smiling to the bank. Yeah,
so this is just a quick update on Anthropic. Anthropic says it's about to have its first profitable quarter, which is good. Especially in comparison to OpenAI, where it seems like there is no profitability in sight yet. So exciting news from Anthropic. One more piece of news: Airbnb is getting into hotels, and it's powered by AI. Specifically, they're going to use AI tools more in their onboarding process for customers, right? And I found this pretty interesting. So considering Airbnb came in to kind of like disrupt the hotel business in the first place, but now it's like, that meme of Thanos, you couldn't deal with your own failures.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Your own failure, where does that lead you? Back to me, right? It's like now Airbnb is going back to like work with hotels, even though like that's kind of like what they proposed to disrupt in the first place. So very interesting news. It is interesting and concerning at the same time, because I have so many questions. Because from a competitor point of view, people like Booking.com and Trip.com
Airbnb literally came in and it's literally bed and breakfast. Like, what are we doing here? Now that they're partnering with hotels, I'm quite curious to see how that dynamic plays out, because it's going to create a very slim line between them and their competitors. Booking.com does travel, flights, all of that. They have hotels and experiences. Also, last year, Airbnb added like an experiences section to their product. So technically, they're just like Trip.com or Booking.com, like right now. What is the differentiation is what I need to like understand. I mean, the AI element is there. I haven't seen so much of AI in Booking.com. Like, they still try to like maintain the experience in a way that is very organic and original. But I don't know, Airbnb, what are we doing?
If I could put my 2 cents would be even hotels are beginning to also, I would say, or they've already reacted to like Airbnb. They started making some of their hotels feel more like apartments already. It's
Hotel.
yeah, apart
I've stayed in
hotels.
one
Yeah.
before.
So the thing is, in most of these businesses, when it comes to like the entire system itself, it's a winner takes all kind of scenario. So if hotels are adapting to be like, more like Airbnb as well also adapt to do like more of what hotels are doing, or even bring some hotels in on board, because that, even if you have like 60% of the market, the mentality is, why can't it be 99? Why can't it be 100?
Sure.
So it's not really about, oh, they are going against their ethos. I mean, it was part of what they sold, but if you can if you have like if you're publicly listed, you probably want to get as much as you can from the entire market.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. And finally, Okiki, as someone that has done it all, dabbled in a lot of things, I'm not saying I know what you're about to say. I know, as a mobile developer, someone that runs like a product development company, you've worked with a lot of tech folks and all. For someone that is just starting in tech like right now, I know you kind of like answered a bit of it before, but comprehensively, with all these AI fears, everything going on, what advice would you give them, or what would you tell them to like focus on that AI cannot replace easily?
What AI cannot replace easily would be, I would say, it's grit, perseverance. AI cannot teach you that, and it's kind of funny because AI actually assists you to do like as little as you can, so you don't even really need to persevere. You need to power through in all these kind of scenarios. So so as a junior developer, you need to be able to like I'll say, do stuff outside be creative with, like, let's say, your side projects. You need to also be visible. You also need to learn how to network, because AI is not going to network on your behalf. AI is not going to push you to go to places where you will be challenged, so you need to just pretty much, I'll say, go with the human crowd, if that makes sense, of like really motivated, talented individuals, and that's the one thing that AI cannot replace, like the old indomitable human spirit.
That's solid advice, right? Drop my literally cut it, frame it anywhere. That is solid advice. Thank you so much for coming to the studio today. It has been such an interesting conversation. Literally learned so much. Like, I did not like Android development that much. But, I mean, with the way you broke things down, it sounds more enjoyable. And we'll be happy to have you again if we have more questions. And if you guys want to follow Kiki, definitely check out Dev Cards, peep him on Instagram and his LinkedIn as well. It drops like some interesting content that I think everybody should watch.
Awesome.
And with that, we've come to the end of the Tech Tacto episode. If you want to keep up with us on social media,
follow us everywhere at Tech Tacto Pod.
And if you want to say hello via email,
reach us at hello@techtacto.live.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, give this video a like or a comment. We're more than happy to hear from you. And we'll catch you in our next episode next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.